If you feel like crying, God has a message for you. And it's not to get over it. It's not to be strong or stop being so emotional. No, the message is, I see you. I see what you've been carrying in silence. I see the tears you wipe away before anyone walks into the room. I see the strength it took to just open this video, hoping maybe, just maybe someone would say what your heart's been screaming for months. I'm not okay. You've been holding it down for so long, pretending you're good, keeping up with work, taking care of others, smiling when people ask how you're doing, but on the inside, you're crumbling. And honestly, I don't blame you, because it's hard out here when you're trying to heal from things you never got an apology for, when you had to let go of somebody who felt like home, when you gave your heart and they gave you a wound, when the life you thought you were building, either with a person or a dream or even a version of yourself, ended up collapsing. See, that's the kind of pain that nobody prepares for. And I couldn't imagine the ache of waking up every morning wondering if it's always going to feel like this empty. Like maybe you're the only one who's broken. Like maybe God forgot to come through for you and only you. But he didn't. See, the thing about God is he's closest when we feel the furthest. Deuteronomy 31 verses 8 says, the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. That verse ain't just poetic. It's real. It's a promise. Even in a season when you feel abandoned, even in the nights where your tears speak louder than your words, he is still there. And I know it's hard to trust that when the pain feels louder than the peace. When you gave it to God but still felt heavy. When you prayed but nothing changed. Or maybe you did get the answer but it wasn't the one that you wanted. It was the one that required you to let go. And let's be honest, letting go doesn't always feel like freedom. Sometimes it feels like death. Like the death of everything you imagined your life would be. The death of the old versions of you that weren't quite ready to bury. And what's scarier than letting go is not knowing what's next. The unknown is terrifying. That in-between space where you're no longer who you were, but not yet who you're becoming. That's where the tears live, right there. That's where the anxiety creeps in. That's where the enemy tries to whisper, you'll never be okay again. But guess what? He's lying. Because the fact that you're still breathing, that you're still here, that's proof that the story isn't over. And maybe this chapter hurts so much just because it's digging up roots. Not to destroy you, but to heal you. Sometimes the things we think are punishment are actually procedures. Sometimes God has to remove people who were poisoning our future. Sometimes he has to shut a door before we walk through one that could ruin us. I know about that too well. And I know that sounds deep, but when you're in it, it doesn't feel wise. It feels cruel. It feels like loss. It feels like loneliness. It feels like being stuck in a room with all your doubts, no exit in sight. And if that's you, I just want to say, it's okay to cry. You don't have to keep pretending that you're strong. You don't have to hold it all together. God is not moved by your perfection. He's moved by your honesty. Let it out. Let the tears speak, because what you're going through matters. You matter. And you being here, even bruised, even bleeding, is brave. It's powerful. And you may not see the light right now, but there is one. Trust me. And it's coming. Maybe not today, maybe not even tomorrow. But every day you choose to keep going, you get closer to it. See, healing is not a straight line. Some days you'll feel strong. Some days you'll collapse. But as long as you are choosing life, as long as you are choosing to try, you are already winning. Don't let this storm make you forget your worth. Don't let the broken pieces convince you that you're unlovable. You are worthy. You are still chosen. You are still called. And there is a version of you waiting on the other side of this pain who is going to look back and say, I didn't know how I made it, but God did. You may not believe that today, and that's okay. Just promise me that you won't give up. Promise me that you'll ask for help if it gets too heavy. Promise me you'll let yourself rest, but not quit. Promise me you'll fight for the future that God is still writing, because it's beautiful. Not perfect, not pain-free, but worth it. The tears may last for a night, but joy, your joy, is still on the way. Keep going. Please, just keep going. You know, as a man, I used to fight crying. I never wanted to show anybody me crying. I don't think any of us do, to be honest with you. Like, nobody want to cry in front of somebody else. And you don't have to. But I used to fight crying. I used to think it was a weak emotion. I used to think me being a man, I had to keep it strong. I could never let it out. Right? Because I was brought up that way. You know what I'm saying? I was brought up around some hard people. Right? And I called myself a leader, so I never wanted to be a crier. But you know what? A lot of things make me cry now. like I relate to J. Cole so much. That's why he's probably one of my favorite artists. It's because in one of the songs that he had with Summer Walker, he said, I ain't gonna say the word, but he said, a dude cried so much ever since he had these kids. Basically, that's what he said. And I felt that to the core. Because when I have my kids now, I'll be crying over everything, man. I'll be like, man, what's going on? I'll be crying off of good times. I'll be crying off of memories that be in my head that I know I'll never get back. And then, I'm not supposed to get them back. They're supposed to be memories. But sometimes I reminisce on the old days when my kids were real small. And it makes me, it be making me emotional because, years from now, it won't be the same like it is now. Right now, I'm so grateful. It makes my kids so happy just when we go to the lake, when we go to the park, right? They just want to be with daddy. You know what I'm saying? They want to play with me, right? And it makes me emotional because, one day they ain't going to want that. They going to be wanting to do everything else. They going to be wanting to be on their phones. They going to be wanting to be out there with whoever they want, and they ain't gonna want nothing to do with daddy, and that makes me emotional. So I cry off of the good stuff. I cry off of what I lost now, and I allow myself to do that. I lost my dad, who was one of the biggest parts of my life, one of my biggest supporters. It was hard, right? But, it's okay. If you need to, just do it. But keep on moving. That's the whole point. You just got to keep on moving no matter what. I remember when my mom's mom passed away, and I was there. I remember where I was. We was in Carson, and I remember she was making some calls because it all happened, and she was crying. She was crying so hard. And I remember, I don't know why this was so in my head, but she was hungry because she was working, and she was hungry, and she was eating almonds. So she still had to move. She was crying. She still had to take care of us, and she was making the calls that was necessary to be made and stuff like that. But she kept on moving. And that stuck in my brain. That picture it may not be that big to you guys, but that picture stuck in my brain so much. Cry, and it's gonna hurt, but continue to move forward. You know what I'm saying? The main thing is to just not give up. And I always looked up to my mom for that. She been through so much, and even if I see her cry, she always moving forward. And that's what we gotta do. So y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm yapping right now. I see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.